Most of the time I'm not scared to do something for the first time. You're right, in a small way. But what I tended to do is self-sabotage unconsciously. I would not commit to something and not be motivated by something. I'd be like, why am I not motivated by that? This is the most important thing to me. And then I would just not turn up at a meeting. I just wouldn't do something that I'm supposed to do. You're committed to doing something. It's very simple. Are you committed? Yes, I'm committed. And then you just don't do it. And you're like, wow, why did I do that? Why did I not commit? That self-sabotage manifests in all sorts of different ways for me, and was in the poor conversations I would have. I would say something dumb. I would have a conflict with someone for the sake of having a conflict. That was sort of my way of doing that. And then there was the other part of it is, how big do you want to go? And I think for me, that manifestation, you're right, it's not necessarily just doing it the first time. It's about, okay, well, how big? And growing Finder and being comfortable with things happening all around the world and all the emotional states that go with that. I was the self-limiting part of the entire company and stopping it from growing. That's a fact. Wow. And I own that. I apologized to my co-founders one day. I said, guys, I just want to apologize that I've been a self-limiting factor to this entire company, and I'm committed to changing that and improving myself. I asked myself, what do I need to learn about myself in order to be the best leader that can serve where this company needs to go and what it requires? And that question is something which it always puzzles me, and it's something I'm always seeking. I guess if I was to use your language, I think that external self-awareness is one part of that. I think it's, the start of the internal and then you move to the external. And I think both of those I'm very deeply passionate about. And I'm always listening for cues. So people say, oh, you're very much like this. And I'm like, really? I'm like that? And you're right. You don't have to accept that. You can reject that. You don't have to believe what they say. But at the same time, it gives you a lens, like you said, of that external self. And you're like, oh, I can get that input and I appreciate that. There are two things I think that are important that I think about a lot is legacy, passing on to other generations and giving back as best I can. Those things are important to me. And I don't really know why, but for some reason they are. And I haven't really probably dug into that enough. Deep down somewhere, there's an itch inside myself that I'm trying to scratch, which is I want to leave a mark. That's driving me. It's just pushing me to keep going further. I have a simple formula. I do have a 3-step. Take your idea and boil it down to being the simplest version that you could execute now. Wherever you are, wherever you're sitting right now. And I'm talking anything can be possible. And I think it always can be boiled down. Do something in the most small scaled down version. The second thing after that, the smallest milestone is, and I think potentially the emotional barrier is, it's okay to be small. It's actually beautiful. And in the same case, I kept Finder small, for so long because I wanted to perfect it over time and make it better and better, because my first iteration was so rough. That first iteration, you can look back on the web archive. It's just been incrementally improving, and still I look at it and I'm like, geez, we're not where we need to be. And that's okay. The third thing is, it's okay to feel uncomfortable about your first iteration, because if you're not, you launch too late. First one is back yourself, because there's no one else that will. It starts with you. The second thing is work like hell, because every successful person I've met, they work so hard. That's a fact. The last one, which I'm always about, is advertise. And advertising can mean share what you know. It can mean get out there and speak. It can mean write a book. It's many different dimensions. Get out there and promote what you do.